This Organized Chaos video is brought to you by Gems Art Studio. This video is also brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Hello again. I'm going to try to release 2 funner videos back to back. I know the last video got a bit heavy. Well, not, I guess. I know the abortion video got a bit heavy. Lots of people hate me for that one. But one thing I've decided to do with this channel is I want to speak out on issues that mean something to me. I want to try to have an influence, a positive influence on the world. Now, will this YouTube channel be able to change the world or anything like that? No, of course not. It's just a YouTube channel. But if I could make a video, and even if it's controversial and gets ratioed all to hell, if one person watches it and thinks, maybe I should rethink this issue, then that video is 100% worth it. So I do want to spend lots of time on this YouTube channel talk about things that are important to me. But I want to do fun stuff too. Obviously, the Deep Space Nine retrospective is a huge project, and it's come together quite nicely. That's going to be the next edited video released on this channel, most likely. I would like to do more media entertainment. I'd like to just look at videos that are fun, and maybe just make fun of them. Maybe. And for the next 2 videos, and if nothing big comes up, these will be the next 2 videos. I'll be wearing this shirt for the next 2 videos. I'm going to be tackling stuff that looks really dumb, but essentially just debunking really dumb stuff that, it's not going to end the world or anything. Unlike what the Supreme Court's doing right now, apparently. Ugh. Yeah, let's have some fun. So I keep on seeing a video that's being offered to me since I've been doing these reaction videos. And the one that keeps on popping up is this one. Oh man, on the thumbnail, MCU, Disney Marvel is doomed. The MCU explained. And I'm not going to lie, looking at this thumbnail, this could be a parody. I don't think it is. This looks like a very cringe channel. It's called Nerdrotic. Nearly 500,000 subs. And one of his tweets that came out just recently about Moon Knight, bait and switch again, hashtag Moon Knight, hashtag MCU. Now, I don't know how this is a bait and switch, because yes, this is a character, minor spoilers for Moon Knight, this is a character that was throughout the series and gained powers in the final episode, but it wasn't like she was like the main character or anything at any point. It was still Moon Knight's story very much. She was just a present character. So, I don't know how it's a bait and switch. I don't know if he knows what that term means. But yeah, I figure we will go ahead and dive into the MCU, because that doesn't sound cringe at all. That sounds great.
Nerdrotic.com.
Let's talk about the MCU. It's a little nickname for Disney Marvel's Phase 4 that's been around for a little while. A lot of people understand what it is. Some people might be new to the channel, and Marvel stands absolutely hate it. Of course, there'll be
Has it been around? No, I've never heard it before.
the accusations of sexism and misogyny. Au contraire, quite the opposite. This is just a term I coined for something Kevin Feige invented. It's a sordid tale of agenda, ego, hubris, embarrassment, activism, identity politics, and diminishing returns. This is the MCU Explained. The origins of the MCU, of course, come from the relatively new comics, the all-new, all-different Marvel, the tokenized Marvel, and some somewhat overblown Facebook research that was done to see what the percentage of men and women were into comics. Research that was done by a channel or blog named Graphic Policy back in 2014. Cliff Notes version of this research, basically Graphic Policy went over Facebook to see how many people were interested in comics, and unsurprisingly enough, it turns out that almost 50% of potential comic book fans are women, which is stunning research because I would guess that half the population is a potential customer. And I guess the same would go for film. And we can't forget the Me Too Time's Up era thanks to this guy. Prior to Phase 4, the mighty MCU was a juggernaut, but there was one single film that embarrassed it. Wonder Woman. Not too long after that, Kevin Feige was asked if there would be more female representation in the MCU, and he said yes, eventually there'll be more female heroes than male heroes, and that was the inception of...
So far, I don't really have anything to say to respond to what he said, because he hasn't really said anything super declarative other than women are in Marvel, and women are an audience that Marvel would like to reach out to, which... Yay! I mean, good job, Sherlock Holmes. I'm glad you figured that one out, because it was really we were really wondering on that one.
Of the MCU. Let's keep in mind that Joe Russo just restated that Marvel doesn't have a plan. He's insinuated that before, and it's something we've always known. Just look at their announcements. Let's face it, Marvel is paint by numbers, but it's paint by numbers on the fly. They're not quite as reactionary as Warner Brothers, America's dumbest company, but they are a subsidiary of America's
Yeah, I don't know about that. Sony's pretty dumb. The smartest thing Sony did was work with Marvel on Spider-Man stuff. Everything else is pretty dumb.
most evil company. Again, we'll go back to June 2nd of 2017 when Wonder Woman was released, part of the holy trinity of DC Comics, a well-established female character, something Marvel, quite frankly, doesn't have. Within a month of
well, that's part of the issue. They're probably their most well-established female character is probably Storm, and you could do a lot with Storm, but for most of the MCU's existence, Storm was with Fox. So yeah, that was a big issue for them.
Wonder Woman's release, we started getting articles like this: Captain Marvel and Marvel's long history of women problems. From Daily Beast, that should not be a surprise to anyone. The first superheroine standalone film was pushed back to 2019 to make way for more world-saving men. It's the latest in a long line of lady problems for the superhero factory. Note, Marvel didn't have a single...
I really like the voice, man. You really show respect to women when you use a voice like that. When they hear that voice, they're probably like, oh, yeah, this is a guy to listen to. Jesus.
Lady to focus on because Captain Marvel wasn't it, and they also didn't have a lady.
Captain Marvel wasn't it. Captain Marvel was a fairly successful... the 2012 launch of Captain Marvel was the most successful launch of Captain Marvel ever, and the movie made over $1 billion. So how is Captain Marvel not a success?
Lady problem to begin with. That was just one example, and believe me, that stuck in Kevin Feige's craw. There are extremely popular female characters in Marvel Comics. Up until very recently, Marvel didn't have control of them. I would argue that the First Lady of Marvel is the Invisible Woman. Some might argue it's Storm, or Rogue, or Jean Grey. My personal favorite is Elektra, and the real Valkyrie. This brings us to the infamous June.
The real Valkyrie? I assume he's saying because she's white and not Tessa Thompson. Tessa Thompson makes a great Valkyrie, by the way. So, how much of your identity is hinged on the idea that Valkyrie is white? Because that's kind of fucking weird.
June 25th, 2018, Screen Rant article, exclusive. MCU will soon have more female heroes than male heroes. Kevin Feige reveals that he envisions a time when more than half of the superheroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe are female. No, it has to be more than half because Wonder Woman embarrassed him. Then we started to see it creeping in.
Wonder Woman embarrassed him? How did Wonder Woman embarrass him? Wonder Woman was a success, but how did it embarrass him? I guess they beat him to the first female-led, the DCU beat the MCU to the first female-led superhero movie. It didn't take them too long to do that, that's true. That being said, it took Warner Brothers entirely too long to make a fucking Wonder Woman movie. You have Wonder Woman in your catalog, and you're dicking around fucking upteen Batman and Superman movies. It took them way too long to do that. I would argue that if Marvel had a character as popular as Wonder Woman in their canon, they won't have made a Wonder Woman movie probably at least 10 years before that Wonder Woman movie. I would argue that. I can't prove it, but I would argue that, the way they go through B characters.
And with films like Doctor Strange changing the Ancient One from an Asian man to a Celtic woman, I've heard.
Well, no, the issue wasn't that he was an Asian man. The issue was that he was a Tibetan man, and that's why they changed it. And it's actually something Kevin Feige regrets. You can look up the article. He regrets doing that. Tilda Swinton did a great job, but so have been a Tibetan person. I don't care if it's a man or woman. When you readapt something, you can change shit. They act like you can't do that. You can change shit. It's a readaptation. You still mainly have to be faithful to like the ideas behind the character, but rarely are the ideas behind the character their skin color or something like that.
Heard the excuses, and I think one of them might be partially valid. I assure you their motivation was both intersectional feminism and China. And then the prelude film of the MCU,
It was China. Feige admitted that. It was absolutely China. And I don't even think Doctor Strange got released in China still. They tried to capitulate to China's whims, and it failed. I think that's part of the reason he regrets it. It's like, why are we dicking around? Just fucking do it.
Wasp and Ant-Man, and just look at that poster. Ant-Man was a bumbling idiot, and there was Wasp, who was a great character from the comics, played by a decent actress in Evangeline Lilly, who was just blandly superior.
You taught me that kick, remember?
Yeah.
And Ghost, the villain that nobody remembers but was the first in a long line of tragic, misunderstood female antagonists.
Nobody remembers Ghost? I remember Ghost. Ghost was alright. Jesus, yeah. I mean, he's just crowding so much opinion in this and then pretending like it's fact. I love it. I love it.
Then there was Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, a film that did admittedly make $1 billion sandwiched between the two most anticipated sequels, possibly of all time. A film along with the Disney trilogy's Ray Palpatine.
Hey, you did point out Ant-Man and the Wasp, which was also sandwiched between the two, and that didn't make $1 billion.
That invented the hero's journey. A film starring, at the time, one of the most insufferable...
Hey, Luke Skywalker didn't invent the hero's journey either, let's be real.
...actresses in Hollywood.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
Yup! You want your stars to have...
Oh god, is this part of the Brie Larson rabbit hole? Oh god. I should have assumed it'd be part of the Brie Larson rabbit hole. Fuck.
Have mass appeal, not half appeal. Captain Marvel committed one of the worst crimes against imagination, needlessly gender swapping Marvel into Annette Bening.
The funny thing about the nega bands on the...
Do we care? Do we care about the gender of Marvel? Marvel was never a particularly successful character. There's a reason why Carol Danvers took over the role of Captain Marvel and why that was the most successful launch. Because that was the best iteration, I haven't read the other ones. I can't call it the best iteration, but it was by far the most popular iteration of the character.
The TV show is that they're actually meant to be a big callback to the OG version of Captain Marvel, the very first version, who was a man called Mar-Vell, who did appear during the Captain Marvel movie in the MCU, but he was played by Annette Bening, so they changed the character just a little bit.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
But he was played...
Is it that big a deal, man? Did you base your identity on the fact that Mar-Vell was a dude in the comics, and now in the movies it's not gonna be a dude? Who gives a shit?
By Annette Bening, so they changed the character just a little bit.
A film that was the first official entry into the MCU. Then,
God, this thing is so goddamn sexist and boring. Oh my god, this is boring. Ugh.
Of course, we had that girl power scene in Avengers Endgame. Then it was just rinse and repeat. So what is the MCU? From Kevin Feige. But as the plan goes forward, I think, frankly, will be You know, eventually I think we're going to reach a time where it's not just, listen, it will be amazing to see all of our female characters the way we have seen most. Never all male, but primarily male. I think we're just getting to the point soon where we have so many great female characters that those are just our heroes, as opposed to when they are all female, all male. It's just the Marvel heroes, more than half of which will be women.
I don't care. He's not talking about getting rid of all dudes, man.
The MCU is ridiculous gender swaps.
Say hello.
Okay, let's tackle these one by one. Ridiculous gender swaps.
Will be women. The MCU is ridiculous gender swap.
All right, Marvel. Not a popular character. Nobody cared. Ancient One. I don't really care if it's a man or a woman. It works either way. Sylvie, a Loki variant. A female Loki variant. That's all that is. And Ghost. Really? Are you really attached to the idea that the Ghost character in the comic book, are you really that attached to it? These people act like these characters are like sacred cows, and I understand, like, maybe doing a black Spider, or not even black Spider-Man, do a black Peter Parker specifically, that might throw you off. But, like, Miles Morales is fine. But as far as, like, more minor characters, I mean, we had Black Kingpin in the 2003 Daredevil. Michael Clark Duncan did a great job. He's no Vincent D'Onofrio, but he was great. I mean, do we care? I mean, in the comic books, they race swapped Nick Fury in the Ultimate version, and then they brought the Ultimate version to the regular timeline. So, Nick Fury swapped races in the comic books, in canon in the comic books. It doesn't matter. They act so offended over these fucking minor characters. Minor. $20 says he hasn't read a comic book featuring the male counterparts of these characters. $20 right now.
Say hello.
So Taskmaster. I have issues with Taskmaster. I even have the 10 right here. Oh god, I can't reach. So I got a 10. Got Taskmaster right there. Taskmaster is a very cool character. Can copy your moves. And kind of a sinister, like, evil, super villainy, sinister, just kind of a cool character. Black Widow. The character can copy your moves. No real attitude at all. Kind of a blank slate. Boring. I don't care that I end up being a woman in Black Widow, because through most of the movie, you don't even fucking know that. The character was poorly written, though. So you want to say it's poorly written? Say it's poorly written. The issue was never that was gender swap, because that character Taskmaster can be a woman. There's nothing wrong with Taskmaster being a woman. It just wasn't well executed. You know, I feel like such a broken record watching all these fucking sexist fucking comic book videos. Sexist, racist, I don't give a shit. It's all garbage. But yeah, they're like, oh yeah, the issue is woman, or it always breaks down to issue is not a white guy. And fuck you, not everything has to be a white guy.
No.
Self-taught mastery.
So you were really attached to the idea that Taskmaster was a man. Cool. You do you, I guess.
Wasn't allowed to train with the boys, but I watched everything they did and taught myself to do it better.
I taught myself.
You taught yourself that magic?
Yeah, I did.
You were just a child when the TVA took you, but you nearly took down the organization that claims to govern the order of time. You did it on your own. You had rings around them. You're amazing.
The MCU character requires constant affirmation.
I like this one.
Every day more people love you. You'll find refuge wherever you go.
I didn't think there could be another Captain America until I met you.
Are we going to forget the fact that this character that we're watching right now is the villain? Are we going to ignore that? We're watching the villain. Here's a couple of examples, and some of them are fucking villains, which are not good examples. Do you understand how stories work?
Along with the constant denigration of the male character.
Touch.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm a narcissist.
Did you not like Red Guardian? Actually, Red Guardian I thought was a highlight from Black Widow. I thought he was awesome. So, I guess that denigration didn't work great. Jesus Christ. I'm exhausted by this. We're a little over halfway through. We can get through this.
The titular male character.
Listen to your mom. She knows better.
Twisted morality like with WandaVision.
They'll never know what you sacrificed for them.
It wouldn't change how they see me.
Yeah, but she did some fucked up things. Did you watch that series? Yeah, she has to pay, like, she went into hiding after that because she did some fucked up shit to those people. She didn't do it on purpose, but she did fucked up shit. Did you watch that series? Did you understand what the ending was? I don't think you did.
Just let us die.
Black Widow.
We stole the key to unlocking free will.
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
What was wrong with that? Oh, Jesus. This is really bad and really stupid. Jesus.
She's just a kid. You're seeing something in her that isn't there.
Yes, she was the villain. They were trying to save her because she did have good reasons. And, you know, it felt like maybe they could do something to save her. But she was the villain in the end.
There were still people in there.
This is the only language these people understand.
I agree with your fight.
And Captain Marvel.
Here's a proposition.
Oh, that guy was a piece of shit. Did you watch that movie? That guy was an asshole.
Nice scuba suit. You need a ride, darling? How about a smile from me, huh?
For you. You're gonna give me your jacket, your helmet, and your motorcycle, and in return, I'm gonna let you keep your hand.
Take it.
Young girls inexplicably starting massive criminal organizations. Bad dads, girl bosses, retcons.
Was Red Guardian a bad dad? He wasn't like the most competent dad, but I didn't think he was a bad dad. He cared for him very much. But you know what? That doesn't fit his narrative, so we're instead just going to call him bad dad. Cool.
And of course, the bait and switch, which brought us female Loki, female Hawkeye, and female Thor is next, to be followed by female Iron Man. And Marvel has done a spectacular job of taking female characters that we used to love within the MCU and making them insufferable. And I can hear the stands now. You're just intimidated by strong women. Well, if your idea of a strong
Well, you know, I wasn't going there, but yeah, that's what it seems like.
woman is a blandly written character underperformed by an overpaid adult pretender standing in front of a green screen, I would just respond with, maybe you
I could respond, that's all the actors in these superhero movies. I could respond, that's every single fucking one. I could. No, I don't, because I actually think a lot of them do a good job. I think Rob Downey Jr. does a great job. I think Tessa Thompson does a great job. I think Chris Hemsworth does a great job. I think Brie Larson could do a good job. I think Brie Larson's a very good actress. I don't think that script really serviced her, the Captain Marvel script. But let's see what they do in the sequels. Kate Bishop was a great character. I really like Kate Bishop. Sylvie was interesting. Just judge each character for their qualities. Instead, you're saying woman bad. Fuck you.
You should try to touch some grass instead of smoke it. And nothing says female empowerment like hiring female directors, but not letting the females direct the action scenes. So that's the MCU casting female writers and directors and not hiring them. And having to degrade the male characters because they don't believe enough in the female characters to stand on their own, leading to the aforementioned bait and switch, which is lying to your audience.
And really, at the end of the day, the whole movie is about our
Okay, you gotta explain that. How's it lying to the audience?
MCU Scarlet Witch trying to find a version of Billy and Tommy. It's still really MCU Scarlet Witch that's trying to push this in a very particular direction.
Then, of course, there's Victoria.
Okay, how is WandaVision a bait and switch? WandaVision, I always seen fairly clearly to be a story about Wanda. I mean, I guess you could say it was about Wanda and Vision, but going into that series, Vision was dead. So I assumed it was primarily about fucking Wanda because, logic.
Victoria Alonso.
And it's funny that people call it the X-Men. There's a lot of female superheroes in that X-Men group, so I think it's outdated.
What? Yeah, no, it's actually a good point. I actually like the name the X-Men, but yeah, there's lots of women in it. Yeah, it's just kind of a weird thing. What the fuck?
And you can't forget, just like with Doctor Who, it's not enough to just turn an established male character into a female character. They need to saddle them with identity politics and or intersectional feminism. No, it's Hollywood, Disney, and its subsidiary Marvel who are scared to death of women. We're not the ones overcorrecting and turning them into men like with King Valkyrie.
So do you care? Do you really care that much if it's King Valkyrie? Why? Why? How does it hurt you?
You serious?
You can express.
You see, I like to throw in the little clips too, but I like to think when I do it, it's funny. Whenever he does it, it's fucking cringe. It's at the worst parts. It's like, ugh. I feel like we're watching somebody who doesn't know how to critically analyze media. I feel like all these guys are guys who don't know how to critically analyze media. So they just think, this story sucks and woman in lead character, so therefore woman in lead character in story sucks. It's like, no, that's not it at all. Yeah.
Express any type of message if you prioritize good storytelling, but you cannot get good storytelling when you prioritize the message. And what are the consequences? Well, $1 billion box office character Captain Marvel being demoted in her own sequel, which was delayed into the movie Dead Zone of February. Hawkeye was recently canceled. I'm sorry. Was a limited series. A string of underperforming Disney Marvel streaming shows and films that led to a stagnant streaming service and a stagnant stock, only to be totally embarrassed by a film that they had 25% to do with, Spider-Man No Way Home, leading to...
They were embarrassed by No Way Home? They were embarrassed by No Way Home. Get a fucking grip. And what, are you going to argue Doctor Strange 2 is going to bomb? Is it going to bomb? Get a grip. No Way Home, part of the reason it was successful is because Marvel was involved. Venom 2 didn't pull those numbers. Morbius isn't going to pull those numbers. It was... so stupid.
Massive reshoots with multiple projects, and the MCU is far from over. The latest example is Moon Knight, where one of the...
Yes, Moon Knight, which definitively stars a male protagonist, is part of the MCU. Cool.
The main character's alpha personas has been retconned into a manzel in distress being led around by a far more capable woman.
Jesus Christ. So you have Mark, who is a super capable guy, and then one of the personalities is Steven, who's just kind of a nerd. And you know what? Having them be different makes the character more interesting. Fun fact. And he was still the fucking hero of the story.
I don't need protection.
We're 4 episodes in, and we've seen the superhero called Moon Knight for about 4 minutes. Listen, nobody wants a sausage.
Okay, yeah. Maybe we could have used more Moon Knight in it, but it was still a great series. It was still great. It could have ended stronger, but goddamn, episode 1 and 5 are so goddamn good. It's ridiculous.
Best. We're looking for a little egalitarianism, but that's not what Disney Marvel is interested in. Kevin Feige is far more interested in bypassing decades of great source material to get into
bypassing decades of source material. Okay. Oof. You know, Marvel, these actors aren't going to want to play these roles forever, so they're going to look for ways to replace them. So it's actually logical to pursue this route, because, you don't want to be paying Robert Downey Jr. $500 million to be in a movie.
Some of the worst comic books ever written that have led to...
I bet you haven't read them, because I've heard really good things about a lot of those comic books. I actually want to read them. I haven't. But I've heard lots of good things about them. I'm betting you haven't.
The long, slow death of the American superhero comic book. And as the Marvel superhero film gets a little long in the tooth, it'll be very interesting to see how long it takes for it to completely destroy the franchise. But sure, you got...
Okay, one thing is for sure, the MCU will end at some point, because all things do. It's a fact. All things do. It's still a huge moneymaker in the box office, though. So, yeah. Now, maybe is it as big as before? No, it has been as big since Endgame. But we have to see what comes up. No Way Home definitely broke some records.
Not what you wanted, Kevin Feige. Now you have a lot of female superheroes who are written one singular way, like they're the bitter, disgruntled
No, they have plenty of fucking characters. Holy crap. It just say things. Just fucking say things. It doesn't matter if they're true or not. Just fucking say them.
HR director at Disney who had to give up a little bit too much integrity to get where she's at. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you did...
Oh, I definitely did not like what I heard. Oh, God, he is awful. So yeah, that was quite fucking terrible. What the fuck, man? He didn't even put work into it. I feel like he's just regurgitating these fucking talking points. Hey, we're gonna put in a couple of scenes from a movie and then have a funny clip that really has nothing to do with it, and have it not really be worked in at all, and have the clip that should be funny not be funny at all. That was just bad. Like, it was just boring bad. It wasn't like entertainingly bad even. It was just bad. And yet, it's super goddamn racist. He has 500,000 subs. I'm sorry, it wasn't racist. It was sexist. I guess you could say it was racist with Tessa Thompson, who does a great job as Valkyrie. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Oh, Jesus, I want to do something fun. I don't know how much more of this Marvel woke shit I can handle, though. I mean, I can handle all of it, but it's fucking boring, and I'm feeling like a fucking busted record at this point. These guys just are dumb. I don't know what to say except dumb, sexist, racist, all of it. Being against wokeism is just obviously it's a dog whistle for being racist and sexist. That's all it is. Same thing with being anti-SJW. It's the exact same thing. It's just a new word meaning the same thing. It's all garbage.
They think order and chaos are somehow opposites, and Try to control what won't be.
I used to fuck guys like you in prison.